Hello everyone, it's Monday. So last night I drank coffee before I went to bed, so I haven't had any sleep. I usually do decaf, but boy did I make a mistake. So I'm on a caffeine high and I'll probably crash in a little bit. So we're gonna make this a short lunch dash and see what we can make in 3 or 4 hours. So come along. Well, Uber's kind of busy. They're sending me, it's $1 per mile. So I'm like, all right, I might do that. DoorDash has sent me a $20 order, but it was for 38 items, two different orders at Aldi's. And I just rather do the food for now. So I paused DoorDash and get ready to pick this up. It's like 7 something for 6.5 miles. Had to unassign all that stuff from DoorDash because I had accepted and I decided this is a lot easier. So I didn't get a screenshot or anything. Well, that took a while to pick up, so maybe I should have stuck with the shopping. It's always hard. That's a bad thing about multi-apping. Like, which order should you take? Will you get a better one with the other app? I never know. So, but, you know, at that point, I just stuck with. Well, I got an order with Uber again. It was like, I think it's $8 for 7 miles or $7 for 6 miles. And so I took it. I am from McDonald's. I'm at McDonald's and DoorDash sends me a $9 order for 7 miles. That order would have put me in a better ending place, but I didn't really want to go there, but it would have been a better ending place. But I already took this order with Uber. I was already there waiting for the order. So definitely hard to make these decisions sometimes, you know. As I was dropping that order off, I was thinking, you know, whichever one gives me an order I'm okay with is the one I'm going to go with and not feel guilty about the other one. It's whoever's the fastest with the best order that comes first. All right, well, I guess I'm going to have to get some tech support from my GoPro. It lasted for a minute. So the first day it happened, I was just trying to get through the day. Today, the second time it happened, I'm like, okay, what's the lesson here? And I think my lesson is I was getting too comfortable. I need to step out of my comfort zone. So when things happen, I just try to figure out what's the lesson. Lesson is try something new. So not going to get overly excited about it. So I am dropping off a DoorDash order for $8. And the lady told me the order would be ready in a second. Well, she misunderstood which order, so I had to wait a little bit. I had gotten a decent Uber order in the meantime, and I was going to go ahead and unassign the DoorDash one and take it, but she said, no, it'll be ready in a second. Well, she misunderstood. But that's all right. This still leaves me in a good area. It's still a decent order, just the Uber one was better. So now Uber's mad at me. I declined like 3 of them. So who knows if I'll get any more offers on Uber. So, all right, lunch is right, it's almost 11:30 by the time I drop this off. It's 11:30 right now and I'm 2 minutes away. So, all right, hopefully it'll pick up. All right, it's estimated 1 to 2 minutes. So terrible orders are coming in like $8 for 14 miles and things. I did finally get one for $8.50 for 5 miles. So I'm taking that one. But my when it says 1 to 2 minutes, I always just kind of cringe because yeah, you're gonna keep or getting orders back to back, but they're not gonna be great ones because it's ones people don't want. And there's DoorDash is even sending orders from Louisville to Louisville, and they used to never do that, hardly ever. So anyway, on my way to Wawa. You know, I've had a couple of people ask me about going full time with DoorDash during the live and then in comment. So just kind of wanted to address that. So I had a career and, you know, making decent money and everything. And, but once I decided it's not about the money, it's about happiness and that peace, then it just all comes together. And then relying on God to provide for you, doing the prayers and understanding that that happened, it just changes your whole outlook on things. So I was a very uptight, oh, grouchy person. And then I started doing this. I'm still uptight and grouchy, but day in, day out, I'm like, all right, I need to fix this. I need to fix that. And I didn't realize I needed to fix these things. I felt okay, but I didn't realize how much me not liking working in an office was affecting my daily life and how I felt about just life in general. So if you're thinking about doing this full time, you have to figure out what's best for you and what's important to you. What is your goal? So my goal is I like to have more work-life balance, but I am addicted to doing these apps, and I need to get better at that. And I'm trying to force myself to get better. So on Sundays, I have a date day. Tuesdays are up in the air if I work or not. This Tuesday I will because I'm not going to work that long today. But I definitely need to figure out my work-life balance a little better. But I do go on vacation when I want to go on vacation. I do, I just have to sacrifice here to do this. But my main goal is work-life balance, find that peace and keep that peace. And I have accomplished that so far. I have bad days, and you're gonna have bad days, but it's not financial. I think if you're wanting to do DoorDash or the gig apps and expect financial gains, you'll be disappointed. But if you do it with other things in mind, it'll work itself out. I might have to work a Sunday every once in a while because I'm saving for a vacation or something. It was oversaturated one day and I didn't make much money. So you're gonna have to pad you some flexibility in there. Some um, if you don't normally work 2 of the days, add pad it a little bit so if something happens, you can work those days. That's how I do it. Would I go back to work? Was one of the questions. Maybe if the right opportunity came along, I might, but it would have to fit um a big list. Work from home, decent pay, flexibility. I don't like calling in to say, oh, I have a doctor's appointment, or I don't want to punch in a clock, what do you call it? Time clock or anything like that. Um, and it has to be interesting, most importantly, has to keep my interest. So I'm very impatient and very I get bored easy. So but I can sit there and work on spreadsheets for hours and hours and I forget that I'm doing it. So it has to be something like that where um I'm really, really like interested in what I'm doing. So, but I did kind of want to address that you got to figure out what your goals are and then go towards it and do it. But you're not going to get rich doing these gig apps. You might get comfortable, you might get lucky here and there and whatever, but you know, I don't set my goals as high as I used to because it got bad. I used to try to do 200 a day, and then now I'm just like, if I make 150, I'm happy. So you got to learn to be flexible and um, just be able to be flexible with the app, with the market, with your days. So, well, I sure took a bad order. It's $5 for 5.8 miles, but I just declined like 10 orders in a row. So if I keep declining, I'm thinking, oh, they'll kind of pause me per se. So I thought, well, I'll just take it. It was better than the other options, in my opinion. So off to Torchy Tacos I go. All right, while I was in there, Uber sent me an $8 order, and it's the pickup is near where I'm dropping this off at. The drop off for the Uber one is kind of far out, but then that's $13. So that'll give me 63, and then my goal was 100 and working about 4 hours. Might take me a little longer, but I like to make 100 before I go home. I also want to say, like, people will tell you, go, don't take an order unless it's $2 per mile, or don't do this and don't do that, or it's better to do this, better to do that. That drove me crazy. I try to do all the things that they told me. Yes, you could make good money, but in the meantime, you might be sitting around waiting or cherry picking or whatever. I do what I feel like is best. So sometimes I'll take, I might cherry pick for that $2 a mile order. Sometimes I'll take $1 for mile, or if it's going to my house, it might not, might pay quarter a mile, but it's going to my house. I live far away, so, or that direction, so I'll take it. So you just have to do what works for you. You have to know your market, because everybody's different. Someone said they get like 14 something an hour for earned by time. We only get like 12 an hour for earned by time here. So, you just got to figure out what works for you and take all those things in and keep them in mind, I think. Oh, that is a good idea. It's not that they're bad ideas, it's just that it doesn't always work for you. You got to figure out where you're most comfortable with, you know? All right, Uber added a $6 order to the Arby's order. So on my way to KFC, then I'll be going to Arby's. The biggest things that has helped me though is having more than one app, because sometimes you get out here and you're door dashing and there are so many other dashers that you can't hardly get an order, or maybe it's just not busy. And so in having multiple apps to turn to is definitely one that I highly recommend. I have several different kind of bags too. An insulated drink bag has been amazing for me, because people, the hottest days, they want to order ice cream and blizzards and all these things. And I used to stick them in front of the air conditioner to keep them cold. And, now I have that insulated drink bag. It's so helpful. Those are some of the things that has been helpful. The other last thing is, if you bring your hot bag to the door, that's something I heard one of the YouTube content creators talk about, and I started doing that. It made a huge difference. I was sticking around 4.85 rating, and then I was staying at 4.99, but right now I'm at 4.95. But they watch you when you deliver, even if it's leave at my door. You can see them sometimes, So I think they really respect that and appreciate that. And I know you're putting the food in the hot bag and then taking it out of your car and dropping it off at their door. Just go ahead and take that hot bag. It is kind of a pain, but it'll improve your customer ratings for sure. Is your DoorDash app looking different now? It says current dash, tells you what's going on, how long you've scheduled. So if you want to pause, this is what the screen looks like now. Today's devotion is talking about waiting on God. I couldn't decide on a verse, so I'm going to read Psalms 37, 1 through 9. Do not fret because of evildoers. Be not envious toward wrongdoers, for they will wither quickly like the grass and fade like the green herb. Trust the Lord and do good. Dwell in the land and cultivate faithfulness. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust also in him, and he will do it. He will bring forth your righteousness as the light, and your judgment as the noonday. Sorry. Rest in the Lord and wait patiently for him. Do not fret because of him who prospers in his way, because of the man who carries out wicked schemes. Cease from anger and forsake wrath. Do not fret. It leads only to evil doing. For evildoers will be cut off, but those who wait for the Lord, they will inherit the land. This devotion hit home for me because I am so impatient. I get an idea and I want to do it now. And that doesn't always work, and that's not always the best game plan, right? It's it's just a matter of stopping and going, okay, get all your ducks in a row, make sure everything's okay. You know, what are the pros? What are the cons? What resources do I need? You just have a better success if you've got everything lined out. Well, I think it's the same thing as this devotion. If you just jump in and do what you want to do, there's so many things that could go wrong. So if you pray about it, ask for guidance, you're going to have so much more success. And I like to pray for knowledge too, like, hey, this is what I'm interested in, or, is this the path? If so, please provide me knowledge or resources or whatever it is. And I kind of thought about that with marriage too. I've been married in July to be 36 years. And there's many times when I was ready to just say, oh, forget this, right? And then we're opposites. But his strengths are my weaknesses, and his weaknesses are my strengths. So even though we're opposite on TV shows and music and those kind of things, interest, in general, we mesh and we complement each other very nicely. So at times it was frustrating. It's like, well, why don't you want to do the things I like? And he would say the same thing to me. And then here we are 36 years later, and we are a great couple. But, it took a lot of time and a lot of prayer. I pray a lot, for a strong family, a strong marriage. And it's hard, like, want to give up right away. But if you let that cultivate and give it its time and learn each other, then you get so rewarded at the end. And I think that devotion has a lot to do kind of the same thing. Instead of just jumping into something, let it sit and look at it at all angles, pray about it, pray for the knowledge, the guidance, all those things. And then it'll happen the way it's supposed to happen. And that's my opinion. And that's what's been helpful for me. I know with a lot of things going on just in our daily lives and decision, we always have to make decisions every day, especially as a dasher. Do I go this way, that way? And earlier in the video, I'm like, do I take this Uber order or do I take this Doordash order? We have all these decisions and all these things. And the more we lift it up to God and relieve all that stress from us, it makes it easier. I'm to continue to pray for patience for me. I have none, and that's one reason why this devotion spoke a lot to me, because sometimes I just want to jump ahead of the Lord and do what I want to do and not wait for the answer. I'm so guilty of that. And I will also put on the prayer request list here, and I will be keeping all of you well in my prayers. Well, sure enough, when I went to deliver those Uber orders, the caffeine's kind of getting out of my system and it hit me like a brick wall. So I'm at $70 and I just need 30 more. And DoorDash sent me this $42 order for, I don't know, 112 things, 3 different orders. Sounds horrible, but I need to get out of the car and that'll make my goal, and I'm going home. And it's only like 5 miles. So as long as it's not big things, I'm happy. If it is, somebody's got to help me carry them, I guess. So I'm going to do that. And as long as I don't get anything else, I'm going to go home and take a nap. Well, that shopping took like an hour and 45 minutes. I am worn out. I was all right until about the last 13 items. And then, of course, they want to text you. That's when you find out there's a problem here or there. And now I have to deliver it all. It's 4:15, and I got that order around 2:30, 2:40. So, oh my gosh. All right, well, let's go see how this goes. All right, I'm ending in the cemetery with Jesus on the cross. That's what I'm looking at. So, that last order was rough. So the first 45 minutes wasn't bad. The last 45 minutes was in the produce and fixing any errors that need to happen. Uh-oh, I dropped you guys. So that was kind of a bummer, So let's say 2 hours, and they ended up giving me an extra $5 tip, so that's $47. So by the hour, it wasn't bad. It's just I was already tired, and that wore me out. So today, between Uber and DoorDash, they haven't updated that tip yet, but once they update it, it'll be like $123. I went 89 miles, worked 6 hours and 15 minutes. So that's not bad. I might have worked 6.5 hours. So close to my 20 an hour mark. So I just want to say, hey guys, relax. You got this. Don't stress out about it. The more you have fun with it, the better it does anyway. I did get stressed out the very end of that grocery store shopping thing. And it does all work itself out, doesn't it? I'm so glad you're here. I love all the comments, and the interactions we have with each other is awesome. So hope you all stay safe. Be happy. God bless you. As I'm driving home and thinking about some things, I just wanted to remind you of the serenity prayer. You know, Lord, please give me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.